Welcome to Math is for Me with Mrs. B, where we conquer math anxiety. Today we're going to be adding fractions with like and unlike denominators. The amazing part about this is that we only have 3 simple steps. Step 1 is to find the common denominator. Step 2, add. 3, simplify. Let's get started. We're going to begin with a problem with like denominators because that'll help us with problems that have unlike denominators. We have our 3 steps right here and we're ready to go. So number 1, we need to find the common denominator. Well, if we have 2/3 plus 2/3, don't we already have a common denominator? Yeah, so check. We already found it. Boom, it's right there. Now we just have to add. So we're going to do 2/3 plus 2/3. The question is, how many thirds do we have? You never add the denominators when you are adding fractions. Now we just do 2 plus 2, which is 4. Now, in some classrooms, this is your final answer. And in other classrooms, you do need to write this as a mixed number. So it just doesn't really matter. Both are correct. It's just a matter of what are you learning right now in your classroom. So we have added, and you might have to simplify by changing this to a mixed number. A mixed number means we're going to have whole number mixed with a fraction. Your first question is to think about the denominator. How many times can this number go into that number? 1 time. So our whole number is 1. And then what would be left over? So if you had 1 whole 3 was taken out of that 4, what would be left over? Well, 4 minus 3 would be 1. So you'd have 1/3 left over. So both of these answers are correct. It's just a matter of what are you learning right now in your environment. And then we're done. Let's look at our second example. We have 2/3 plus 4/5. So first step is to find the common denominator. When we look here, we notice those are not the same number, so we do not have common denominators. This means we need to find it. The best thing is to try to find the least common denominator. We want to find the smallest number possible to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Let's start by writing out the multiples of 3. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. We could stop there, and then let's list out the factors of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. We have lots of other numbers we can have for both of these. We want to find the least common denominator. So let's scan and find some numbers that we have in common. I notice a 15 and a 15. There's nothing smaller than that. And in our little list, there's nothing greater than that either. So this is our answer. This is our best bet. We're going to create equivalent fractions. So we're going to bring down this 2/3. And we need to make it into a fraction with 15 as the denominator. Well, 3 times 5 would be 15, so 2 times 5 is 10. Great, 2/3 is equivalent to 10/15. Now we're going to do the same thing for 4/5. Well, we need 4/5 to be converted into a fraction with 15 as the denominator. 5 times 3, whoopsies, 5 times 3 is 15, and so 4 times 3 is 12. So we just created equivalent fractions. 4/5 is the same thing as 12/15, and 2/3 is the same thing as 10/15. Now we're going to take these fractions with common denominators, and we can do our step 2, which is to add them. So 10/15 plus 12/15. Once again, we do not add those denominators, so we're going to leave 15 right there. Now, if we have 10 plus 12, what do we have? That's 22. It depends on what you are learning in your classroom. This very well could be your final answer, but in some environments, you may need to change this into a mixed number. So once again, how many times can 15 go into 22? 1 whole time. Then what would be left over if we took 15 out of that 22, or just simply 22 minus 15? We'd have 7, and we have 7/15. Before you box your answer, just make sure you can't simplify your little fraction anymore. And we can't, so either this answer or this answer will be your final answer. Here is one example with a common denominator and one example where we had to find a common denominator. Now I have our last example here. We have 5/6 plus 7/10. I want to encourage you to pause this video, use the purple example, and see if you can solve this pink example on your own sheet of paper. Now that you've already tried it, let's go over it. So step 1, find the common denominator. Well, 6 and 10 are not common denominators, so just like we did over here, we need to start listing our multiples out. Now, I do know that all multiples of 10 end in a 0, so I stopped with this guy right here because I'm pretty positive that's going to be our common denominator. Now we have 10, and boom, there it is. Let's rewrite our 5/6 as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 30. Well, 6 times 5 is 30, so 5 times 5 is 25. Let's rewrite 7/10 as an equivalent fraction with 30 as a denominator. 10 times 3 is 30. 7 times 3 is 21. Just like we did before, now we have an equivalent expression. Instead of 5/6, we're going to write 25/30, and we're adding it with our 21/30 instead of our 7/10. This expression is the exact same thing as that expression. We just now have a common denominator. Perfect. So always put that denominator down first. That is just a great habit to have so you don't start adding it, because a common mistake that students make is they have 60 in their denominator because they think, oh, 30 plus 30. That is not what we do here. So we need to just write that denominator down, and then we can add 25 plus 21. 25 plus 21 is 46. So this actually should not be an answer in any classroom, considering it is not simplified. We should notice that 46 and 30 are both even numbers, which means they're multiples of 2. So let's divide both these numbers in half to simplify. So 46 divided by 2 would be 23. And whatever you want, you have to do to the other, so then we have 15. Now, look here. Can we simplify this anymore? No, we can't. So this could be your final answer, just like this one here. Or we can make it into a mixed number. How many times can 15 go into 23? 1 time. And then what would be left over after taking 15 out of that 23? It would be 8. So we have 8/15. This or this would be a wonderful final answer. As a recap, you just find the common denominator, add the fractions, and simplify as needed. Hey, thanks for tuning in with Math is for Me with Mrs. B, where we conquer math anxiety. Comment below, in your classroom, do you need to write your final answer as mixed numbers or just simplified fractions? And let me know what other tutorials you need, and I'll be happy to make them for you. See you next time.